No, this is my car collection, my 4 cars of mismatched origins and really purpose. My Audi I've owned for years. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that car. Cheapest iGo in the world, /Europe/France. I still plan on supercharging that. That's meant as a bit of fun and seeing what I can do for cheap. The Volvo at the back, its purpose is to take me to the Arctic Circle and back. Has to be Scandinavian for obvious reasons. And the taxi, well, why doesn't anyone want a Black London taxi? But it's not my dream garage, and it's not my dream setup. If it was up to me, my dream garage would look more like this. But it doesn't. But that doesn't mean that it can't. But it all starts somewhere, and it all starts really for me here. And that's why I'm taking a huge leap of faith and just YOLOing into cars. That's right, this is my life. One of my dream cars is the Mazda RX7, a car that was built 30 years ago now, but it still stands up in terms of its looks against modern cars today. Arguably, I'd say it looks better, but I'm biased because I'm old now. But I've always wanted one. I could never afford one at the time, and I could never afford one now because they've got really expensive. So I thought, I'm going to start my dream collection and invest everything I have into one trip. That's right, that's what I've called the Road to Rotary. I am going to Japan to find my dream RX7 and then driving it all the way back to France. Now, so many people have told me, why would you bother doing this? Because it's not the most cheap option. And you're right, when you do the maths, it actually makes a lot more sense to just ship it back. And it would probably be the cheapest way of doing it, and cheaper than buying one over here, definitely. However, there are so many things in life that we don't do because we think it's not a very good idea, but that's what gives you the biggest experiences and biggest memories in life. And that's what I want from this. It's not just about the cars, but cars are an opportunity for memories. When you remember your cars, you don't just remember your cars for what they are, you remember the times that you spent in them. You remember those experiences, and what an experience that you can have when you've driven an entire car all the way back from Japan. I want to caveat that this is not a small thing to do, as you can imagine. It's very hard. And so it's not going to be a short process. This is going to take some time, but I think that doesn't matter for me because I want to make sure that I do this correctly. It's 13,500 kilometers that I'm going to have to drive all the way back from Japan on the boat over via South Korea to Russia, all the way through Russia, down via Georgia, via Turkey, all the way up through the Balkans and back to my house. So it's a long trip, a trip that most people would say that isn't suitable for a Mazda RX-7 because it probably isn't. So the first thing I need to do is source a vehicle. And so for that, I'm going to go to Top Rank, based in Europe, based in France, to find me a car. So let's go and find a car. So I'm here at Top Rank Europe with Alex.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows like importing JDM cars, then everyone knows the name Top Rank. And so, yeah, I just happened to find out that they were based 45 minutes from my house. So obviously I want to go to the best people that I can to find my dream car, and so Alex is kindly going to help me to do that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so we're going to start the process. Obviously I'm looking for an RX-7 and a K-truck. Mm-hmm. You're going to help me with the whole buying process, so I can
finding the car, purchasing it, and then all the maintenance related to having an RX-7.
Yes, thank you. That's
rebuilt.
I'm really looking forward to that side of things as well. So this is generally the process, and even from France, you can help me go. You understand you lived in Japan until recently.
Yeah,
and
the company in France and in Japan, we're the same. It's completely related.
Yeah.
So I'm working every day with the people in Japan, and they're doing the maintenance on the cars that comes to the shop. So we do it for customer, and if you've seen some of the YouTuber we talked about, Dustin Williams, for example, he has the car over there, and he's doing a lot of maintenance. Not only Top Rank shop, he's going to other shop as well, specialist for his car. And if you find any shop, we can also arrange, do all the process transporting the car, communicating with the Japanese.
That's amazing. That's certainly going to be helpful because I can't speak Japanese. Equally, it's good that you speak English because that helps me with the French side of things as well. But yeah, so I spoke to you today, obviously, with what I'm looking for in an RX7, hopefully condition-wise as well, but depending on...
Yeah, so I say, every car is always the same. It's like, how much is the car? I say, depends on the car, depends on the car condition, mileage, and looks like you're happy with any car condition because you are going to rebuild the car. So
yeah, exactly. So the plan is, I told Alex, the plan is to try and buy the car as soon as we can, so then I can, obviously for the trip back, it's going to be a huge long trip, so I want to make sure that it's rebuilt before I come back because rotary is the best time could do with a rebuild, realistically. Especially if you don't know the condition that they've come in. So
yeah, we do compression tests, but even with good compression, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, the best thing to do is, because it's a service you guys can offer as well and help with, it makes sense to do that. So if we start the process now to try and buy it, then we have that time to try and make it as perfect as possible as we can.
Basically 1 year, 1 year project starting.
Exactly, starting now. But yeah, I'm really happy to have found Alex because they obviously some amazing cars as well. And you're going to be doing a lot more of this in this area.
Yeah, well, more car coming, and hopefully it's going to be filled with car, killing the eco.
And you've got a shipment coming in June as well, haven't you?
Yes, 6 cars coming. It's going to basically be, for JDM, it's going to be R32 GTR. I've got 2 in white. I got some additional Porsches in white. I have a BMW in white and a Mercedes in white. So I don't know why my container, I just noticed it. I was like, oh, I only have white cars coming.
But I think I'll definitely come back and see you when you have your R32. I think that'll be a nice thing to see.
Yeah, the R32, you would see it's really nice condition. We have one that is a one owner.
Wow.
R32 GTR.
Yeah, that's probably slightly out of my budget range of shit condition RX7 versus one owner R32. Yeah. Maybe slightly different, but I'll definitely come along and have a look. I think that'll be wicked.
Yeah, and we also have in the next shipment a Toyota Century.
Whoa, nice.
And Tommy Mackie and Evolution. And I'm just saying a Century for a road trip behind, sitting behind is way better.
Century versus a K-Truck. I mean, Century might be a wise option.
Yeah, it's big.
And it's comfy.
If you're behind, if you're sitting behind.
Yeah, exactly. That's got me thinking. It's not a K-Truck though, maybe a Century as well. What's the price on Centuries? What are they looking like?
Imported here, I think right now the market we're about 35-40, depending on condition again.
Yeah.
So 35-40.
So that's definitely more expensive than a shit K-Truck.
But you get way more cylinder. It's 12 of them.
Yeah, and probably slightly more reliability as well.
As Toyota.
Yeah, exactly. It's gone forever. Well, thanks very much. I'm going to carry on with speaking to Alex exactly what we need. But I'll give you a quick rundown and show you this absolutely mint Mark IV Supra. And yeah, let's find ourselves some cars.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So with that out of the way and the car sourcing process underway, I want to take you through the plan for the trip. So you know exactly what is to expect and how it's going to play out and why it has to potentially take as long as it is. Now these are the things that need to happen, and this is the rough timeline of events of what is going to be happening. Firstly, sourcing the car in Japan. It's not just you go buy a car. Obviously, working with Top Rank, they're going to find a car for me. I've specified exactly what I'm looking for. They can try and source one, but then they have to obviously inspect the car, go through all that process before they can actually purchase the car that fits my needs, price range, etc., etc. I'm not too worried about the number of kilometers on the car particularly, or to be fair, massively the condition of the engine, because I do plan on rebuilding the car or rebuilding the engine while it's in Japan to give the car the best chance of getting back that it can. If they source a car that even has lowish kilometers on it, there's no guarantee when the last rebuild was or if it even had one, which means that the chance of getting home are more unknown. So given the best chance I can, I want to rebuild the engine while it's in Japan. So they both take a ton of time. It's going to take a couple of months at least to be able to source the right car that I want in the right spec. And it will take at least a couple of months to rebuild the car within that time as well. And I still have to pay for all of these as well. Like I said, this is the biggest investment I'm making in my life. But in the meantime, what I want to do is, while they're sourcing the car, I want to visit Japan in the next couple of months. That's on my agenda right now. I'm trying to find flights for the right time to go and meet the whole top rank team and everyone else I can meet out there, and just go to Japan to try and show you guys some more of the Japanese car scene while I'm out there as well. Once the car has then been rebuilt, so hopefully I'll be working with the likes of HKS, who I'm talking to tomorrow, so that will be insane. I then want to visit Japan again in January. Now, I could just be like, well, why don't you just drive home in January? But driving through Siberia, through the Siberian winter, as much as I am a massive idiot for undertaking this, I'm not that stupid. I'd rather go at a time where it's not the Siberian. Just Google it, Siberian Arctic. Just Google the Siberian winters and yeah, you will see why. But there is another reason. So I'm visiting Japan in January because there are going to be some secret Japanese shenanigans that will be happening there, which I'm very excited about. And then after that, I have to make sure I have all the car paperwork done. And while I'm pretty sure I have ways of doing it, I have two options, both of which are fairly expensive and don't make a lot of sense if I just wanted to buy a car. But like I said, it's not just about buying a car, it's about the entire trip, or the trip in the entirety, and the experience. It's about the law. So the car paperwork will take some time to get sorted. Then the idea is I'm going to Japan in June of 2025. That will be a week of exploring Japan. Hopefully, if I get all of this stuff sorted in the best possible way that I can, that will enable me to be able to drive around Japan in my new car for a week, exploring all the different places in Japan in my own car on French plates, which will be pretty frigging cool. Then after that, I plan to drive to the ferry with the K-truck and start the journey back over via South Korea to Russia and then all the way back. That is the timeline in June 2025. There is also another reason why it has to be June 2025. Again, when it's about experiences, experiences are the most important thing, and I want to do this with my son. My son is finishing school the end of next May. It will be the last schooling education he does. So in June, he will be free from all education, which means he can come on this epic adventure with me. I truly believe that experiences in life, if you can do these things with your family, with your friends, and share those experiences, then that's some of the richest experiences you have in life. Like, how many other people can say that they've got that experience with their parents? So for me, regardless of the internet telling me when I should do them, I physically can't for these reasons, but more than that, even if I could, I want to do it then because I want to do it with my son, which is the most important thing for me to get out of this. It's not just about the car, it's about those memories. I also get asked a ton on TikTok, a ton on Instagram, who's driving the K-truck? There's obviously two passengers within the K-truck, the driver, the passenger. You can alternate, it doesn't really matter, whatever. But there are two spots available. I would love to have someone with videography experience, that would be great. Of course, I will be capturing this entire journey. I can capture a lot myself. I'm going to take my 360, my GoPros, things like that, so I will capture as much as I can. But to have someone else along for the ride to help me capture that from a different perspective would be amazing. But the whole selection process, I was inundated with people that wanted to come along, but I just didn't expect us, whatever. But again, it's a huge undertaking. I am investing everything I have into this adventure, and so it's not exactly something that I can just pay for your week, your month off work. It could take up to 4 weeks to do this. I'm allowing 4 weeks for the trip because I just don't know how long it would take, to be honest. But at the same time, I can't pay for your month off work because I'm investing in this whole thing. If you want to come, it's purely because you want to have this experience. I can't pay for your flights, but what I can pay for is the fuel for the K-Truck. Anything that goes wrong in the K-Truck, that's my responsibility. That's not a problem. But if you want to come, that's purely because you want to have this level of adventure. That's fine. So the selection process is going to be fairly simple, but it's going to be a process. So if you go to roadtorotary.com, there is a form at the bottom where you can officially register your interest in coming along and give your justification of the reasons why you want to come. But again, because we're doing all this together and there's a lot of time together, it could be potentially stressful. So that means we have to pick the right people to fit in that group. And so even though we have this whole selection process there, post that, I would love to try and put together some sort of meet and greet somewhere where we can come along, beers and barbecue, whatever it might be, invite you to my house, I don't really mind. Something that we can all get together and then just try and vibe and see what fits and see what works. If nothing else, that will be something that everyone can enjoy. So if you're interested, register your interest at roadtorotary.com. All the information on the series will be on roadtorotary.com. I'm also going to have like a live tracker so you can see where I am along the route. I'll be doing my TikToks and my Reels every day so people can get an update there. And obviously the whole series post the trip will be into my YouTube, like here. And last but not least, one thing that I'm trying to do at the moment, I've got about 4 different designs that are being produced for the Road to Rotary for the entire series. I really want to find a supplier as well that can do some absolutely top quality hoodies and t-shirts in various different colors. And all of this will be available on roadtorotary.com, so that's coming soon. All of this will go back into the series itself, into the whole of making it what it is. Like I said, I don't have a job anymore. This is now my job to do stupid shit like this. So anything that comes into this goes straight back into making this series whatever it can be. And if by fucking any reason it can hit a target that allows me to bring a 3rd car back, I will 100% make sure that that 3rd car has 4 people in it so we can take more people on this trip. So if you're interested in supporting this trip, I will announce on TikTok, on my Reels and on YouTube in a community post when these will become available, and you can support the trip in any way you can. And then yeah, maybe we can take 6 people along for the ride instead of 2, which will be absolutely epic. So yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to mention. Like I said, I am going full steam ahead to try and make this happen, but I wanted to clear up all the different timelines, all the different reasons for the timelines, but all of the different things along the way. I will be going to Japan twice before I go the 3rd time next June, and that is the plan. I'm just going to make it happen. So I hope you can stick along for the longevity of this trip. It's going to be epic, and I want to make even the build-up engaging and epic for you guys as well. I know that there isn't much to this video apart from just really explaining it, but stick around and I promise you that it's going to get crazy. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.